Hello students. So students, in the previous class, in the chapter that is separation of substances, we were talking about different kind of separation techniques. Okay. Until that students, we have discussed a lot of a type of separation techniques, including that of sedimentation. Then we discussed about decantation. Then we talk about loading. And finally, we also discussed about that of the filtration process. What is there in the filtration process, students? So we discussed that actually in the filtration process, there are two terms. That is, one is filter paper, which with the help of this filter paper consisting of a residue, and then we also discussed about what is filtrate. Now see student, this process include all these things. Let me remind you one more time about all these. You see students, if we talk about the filter paper basically is a kind of a paper consisting of a minute pore in it. Okay, so it consisting of a minute pore in it, and these pores it help in making the solid particles to remain there on the filter paper, while the liquid particle can easily pass through it. So it will allow only the liquid particles to pass through it, but the solid will remain present on the in the form of a residue on that of the filter paper. So filter paper, it takes part in the process of a filtration. Next one is the student, you see, that is residue. We talk about residue. What is a residue? You see, when we pour the solution consisting of a mixture consisting of a two component, one is soluble, another is insoluble, and when we pour it in that of the filter paper, what we find? We find that the solid particle will remain as residue. Solid particle will remain present on the filter paper, and we use the term for it, and that is known as a residue. What do you understand by filtrate? So you see, when we pour it, some of the liquid particle which is present in that of the mixture will passes through that of the filter paper through funnel and can be collected into a different container or vessel. That filtered part is known as a filtrate. So one is residue, that is the solid one which remain present on the filter paper. Another one is the liquid one which passes through it and get collected to the vessel. Okay, so filter paper is there, residue is there, and filtrate is there. So this is all about that of the filtration. Okay, and filtration, you see students, even in our daily life also we use a lot of like tea strainer. So tea strainer, it is used, it is a kind of a thin wire mesh which help in separating the tea leaves from that of the tea. Okay, so there also you see that we use the process of the filtration. By using this process, we are able to separate the tea leaves from that of the tea. Okay, so we can say that filter paper, residue, filtrate, these all are the different parts which is involved in that of the process of filtration. Okay. Now let us move on and try to understand the another kind of a separating techniques. So the next separating technique which is very important, students, and that is evaporation. Evaporation. Let us try to understand the evaporation. What is the process of evaporation, students? So you see, we know that the process of evaporation include the conversion of the water into that of the water vapor. That process is known as a evaporation. So at first, if we have to write the definition of the evaporation, students. So we will write that evaporation is a process. It is a process which includes the conversion of water into water vapor. Okay, so evaporation we can say, student. Okay, so we can say that the process of evaporation is what? It is a process which includes the conversion of the water into that of the water vapor. Okay, that is what? That is the process of evaporation. Okay, students. So you see, student, why we are using the process of evaporation for a separating technique. You see, before that when we were talking in filtration or in the process of a decantation, we have seen that in both the cases, one is the insoluble one into the other in liquid. So insoluble solid is there which is dissolved in that of the liquid. We can separate this mixture with the help of the process of a decantation or with the help of the process that is filtration. Decantation and the filtration process. So these are the two processes by which we can separate the insoluble solid from that of the liquid substance. Okay. Now, how can you separate a soluble one from that of the soluble one which get easily dissolved in the liquid, which get easily dissolved in the water? So you see, that is so if a soluble solid is there and we have to soluble solid is there and it get easily dissolved with the water. So for that case, student, we can use the process of evaporation. Okay, so process of evaporation can be used for separating the solid from that of the water. But here the condition is that the solid will be the soluble one which get easily dissolved in the water. So basically the concept of the evaporation is that the liquid substance should be separated from that of the dissolved solid substance. Okay, so we can write it. That is evaporation method has been used to separate dissolved solid components from liquid one. Okay, so this process basically used to separate the solid component. Now this solid component get mixed into the liquid one, and for that we use a process of the evaporation. So here when we apply this process of the evaporation, the solid component, it is left in the container in that of the the container or in the vessel wherever we had taken the mixture. And when you apply heat, when you apply the process of evaporation, it is left in the container we call the term for it that is residue. You see students, while using that of the filter paper, we were using the term for it that is residue, and here also we will do the same thing, that the solid component will remain on the vessel, in the form of a residue only. Okay, so we can say that the dissolved substance is left as solid as residue when we apply the process of evaporation. Okay, so the dissolved substance, it is left as solid as residue when we apply the process of evaporation here. Basically, you see student, what happened in the process of the evaporation? The water get converted into the water vapor. Okay, so the liquid one will get converted into the water vapor, and finally you will get the solid one. Now, how this process of the evaporation can be carried out? So there are some liquid which get easily evaporate even if you open it simply, if you are simply keeping it in the atmosphere. Due to the low boiling point, it will get evaporated, like that of a petrol. So if suppose you mix something with the petrol, so petrol will get evaporated and the solid will remain behind as it is. But if we talk about the water, students, so water does not get evaporate as it is. So what we have to do, we have to apply heat. So by supplying heat to the water, which consisting of the dissolved solid in it, will help in evaporating the water into the water vapor, leaving the solid behind as a residue. So we can say that the process of the evaporation involves the conversion, and this can be increased. This process of evaporation can be increased by increasing the temperature, by giving a sufficient amount of heat to the mixture, which help in separating the solid to that of the liquid one. Okay. Now we see that. So we can write it. That is, evaporation process can be carried out by applying heat. Okay, evaporation process, it can be carried out by applying heat to the solution or to the mixture consisting of dissolved solid in it. Okay. So we can say that it can be carried out by applying heat to the mixture which consisting of a dissolved solid in it. When you apply the heat, it will get converted into the water vapor easily, and finally the residue will be left behind. So you can say that you are able to separate both of them easily. Now by this, student, one more thing that comes what will happen if suppose you increases the heat? You see student, we can understand with the help of example, like see if your mother, she is if you have seen that if suppose she is boiling the water. So if she is applying very little amount of a gas to it, then what will happen? The water will start evaporating after some time. Applying heat on it will help in evaporation of the water. So water will start evaporating. As she increases the heat, then and increases the flame, so the evaporation process will also get increases. Okay, means the conversion of the water into water vapor will also get increases. So what does that indicate? That if the amount of a heat which is supplied to that of a water is more, the process of the evaporation will also quickly take place. Okay, so we can write it, that is evaporation process can be made quicker by applying more heat. By applying more heat to it. Okay, so evaporation process can be made quicker. It can be increased by applying a more heat. Okay, so basically we can say that the process of evaporation, it involves the conversion of the water into the water vapor, and this separation technique is used in separating the dissolved solid from that of the liquid. Okay, so we are able to separate both of them easily. Now you see, student, how can we apply this process? Means, is there an example by which we can understand the process of the evaporation easily? Yes, there are a lot. Okay, so try to understand each of them. So you see, student, if suppose we are saying that in the process of evaporation, in the process of evaporation, we are saying that the substance, the solid substance, must be like that it will get easily dissolved in the water, right? So which one will get easily dissolved in the water? So if we take an example of a sugar and water, so sugar will get easily dissolved in the water. Okay, if you stir it, then it will get easily dissolved in the water itself. Okay. Now you see, students, if suppose you want to separate the sugar from the water, what you will do, you will simply take the mixture and you heat it, then water will get evaporated and sugar you will get it in the form of a crystal. Okay, so we can write the first example is a sugar and water. So the first thing that came, that sugar gets easily dissolved in water. The second thing, when we apply heat, the water present in it gets evaporated. Water which is present in it gets evaporated, leaving the sugar crystal in the form of residue. Okay, in the form of a residue. So we can say that sugar gets easily dissolved in the water, and when you apply a heat, because you are mixing the sugar in the water, so there is a solution. Okay, so how can you separate? Now you want to separate the sugar from the water. So you will simply take the process of the evaporation, and by this process you are easily can separate the sugar from that of the water. Okay, so by applying heat to it, the water will be get evaporated in the form of a water vapor, leaving behind the sugar crystals in the form of a residue. We will call it as a residue. Okay, so this is the first example, student, by which we can say that how the process of the evaporation can be carried out, or how the process can be it is used. Okay. Now, if we see the second example, students, so second example is very important, and you see that we use this example on a large scale. Right now, I am saying simply the examples just to understand you, means you should understand what is evaporation and where we use this evaporation process. You see, student, while making sweets, your mother, she used to evaporate. She used to add a more and more amount of a sugar in it, in the water, and she used to evaporate the water. She used to boil it so that the sugar get easily dissolved in it, and if the extra water is there, it will get evaporated. So if she, and the amount of a sugar will be more than making the solution more thicker. Okay, so by this you can understand that when you apply a heat to a mixture, and if it is consisting of a water, so water will get evaporated, and the solid one, it does not get evaporated, so it will be present as it is. The best example, student, which we use on a large scale is the salt. Extraction of the salt from seawater. So we can say salt from seawater. Salt from seawater. So you see, student, how the process of the evaporation occurs in this students. So if you see in a general term in your home also, if you see that what will happen if you have taken a small amount of a salt and you add it in the water and you stir it gently so that it will get properly mixed into the water. Now what do you want? You want to separate the salt from the water. So for that, what can you do? You can simply boil the water. You simply apply heat to the water. So the salt will get remained in the glass or in the container in which you have taken the mixture, and the water will get easily evaporated. Okay, so by this process, all the water will get evaporated, it will get converted into the water vapor, and the salt will remain behind. So we can say that the salt can be separated from the water. Same thing here with the seawater. What we are knowing that seawater or the ocean water consisting of a salt in it, and that is why it is also known as a saline water. Okay, saline, it means consisting of a salt in it, and you know that if it is a salty water, it is not fit for the consumption. That is why you see, student, out of a 75% of a earth, it is covered with the water only. And out of 75% of a water, 99% of water is present in the sea and the ocean. And even then also we are not able to consume it. Reason, consisting of a salt in it, making the water saline water. We also use a term for it, that is marine. And it is not fit for us to consume such a kind of a water. Okay, so it is a saline water, so we cannot take it, but we can extract the salt from that of the seawater. You know that the salt is very important because salt consisting of iodine in it, which is important to prevent the deficiency diseases to us like goiter. Okay, so we can say that iodine consisting of the salt consisting of iodine, so it is very important that we should consume a sufficient amount of salt in our diet. Okay, so we can say that salt consisting of iodine, and this salt is present in the water, and that is sea water in a major amount. The whole sea water consisting of a saline is a saline water only, means consisting of a salt in it. So how can you separate the salt? So you see basically what happened. This water is collected, okay, in a small pits, okay. So if pits are dug and there the water get collected, okay, sea water get collected in a different pits, and the water that is the sea water is collected there, and the water is exposed to sunlight. Now when the sunlight fall on the water due to the sunlight, it get evaporated due to the heat coming from the sunlight. It will absorb the heat and get converted into the water vapor. And this process take place in a time, in days, and finally the water, all of the water get evaporated, leaving behind the salt which is present in that of the sea water. So we can say that sea water consisting of salt in it. That is why known as saline water. Then the second one is sea water is also known as saline water. So taking sea water in different pits, okay, so we can say in and then keeping it exposed to the sunlight. Taking sea water in different pits and then keeping it exposed to the sunlight. After that, student. The water of the sea water gets evaporated and the salt which is present in it the salt which is present in it leaves behind as residue. So here the process of evaporation takes place on a large scale. Okay, so you see student, this is the process of the evaporation in which we are separating the salt from the sea water. Sea water consisting of a salt, so we can separate it. The small, it occurs in the large scale so that we get a sufficient amount of a salt. So to extract the salt from the sea water, we use the process of the evaporation. Most of the time question is asked to student that how the process of the evaporation help in extracting the salt from the sea water. So you have to write all the different steps which is involved in extracting the salt from that of the sea water. Okay. So this process occur with the help of the evaporation process. This process also, student, you can do at your home by taking the salt and the mixing water in it, and finally evaporating it by giving a sufficient amount of a heat. After a few times, you will see the water continuously evaporated, and if all the water get evaporated, leaving behind the salt in the glass only. Okay, so this process occurred on a large scale to extract the salt from the seawater. Okay, so we can say that this is the important one, because the question can be asked from this one, that how can you extract the salt from the seawater. So you will write the process involves the evaporation separating technique, and then if it is of a MOMAS, then you will write all the different steps which is involved in it. Okay.